Hello there, sweet friends. This is Gina. Welcome to the TheReBookery channel. Today I'm going to do a process video on me just playing around with some paint, and I'm working in my little journal. So this was my first week back to school, and it was a crazy week, and I really just wanted to get some creativity going. I needed to do something creative. I didn't know what. I wasn't feeling like, playing with paper, like collaging or gluing or anything. For some reason, I'm just feeling colors and paint, probably because I'm back with kids now. And so my brain, has transformed back into my old 13, 14-year-old self since I hang out with 13 and 14-year-olds all day. So for whatever reason, I'm just thinking like really bubblegum colors, bright blue, pinks, purples. So I just grabbed some paints that I had and put a few little dollops of paint on my little tray there. And I start to think about, I want to make a rainbow, which I know most 46-year-olds don't make rainbows, but I don't know. I'm just feeling like a rainbow. And when's the last time I drew a rainbow? I have no idea. When's the last time I painted a rainbow? Oh my gosh, it's probably been forever. So I think I'm just going to paint a rainbow. So what you just saw me put in the gutter of the pages there was a piece of it's joint compound paper, and I got it at like Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's like a construction type of paper that you use whenever you're putting up drywall. But I like it because it's really sticky and it's matte paper, so you can paint over it and stuff like that. And I had some just sitting on my desk. So I thought I would use it and put it in the gutter of those two pages because it was a little loose. My little journal is extremely large and it's almost full. So the more I'm getting to the end, the more I'm really having to strengthen some of the pages and things like that. So I just put that in between the two pages, and now I'm just going and painting my rainbow on. And when I was a little kid, and oh my gosh, everything I drew was rainbows, I always had the same problem. It would start out really good, like on the left-hand side, and then when I would go over to the right-hand side, I'd always mess up that perfect half circle. And you can see I did it again on the right hand side. You can see where there's like a little bump out where I just could not make it symmetrical to the left hand side. And I think that's kind of funny because it's just something that always drove me nuts when I was a little kid. And now I actually I kind of like it. It makes it look just like me, totally not perfect. So adding my colors here, and like I said, I'm using a lot of bubblegummy pastel poppy colors. I'm just kind of feeling that vibe today, just bright and cheery, and really wanting to get some pretty paint smushed around. I'm wanting this to look like it's kind of like an illustration. There are so many beautiful illustration artists out there with these wonderful skills, and I always love them. I always look at them and love them and just be like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do something like that. So I'm just kind of testing out my illustrator skills here and doing some just basic drawings, like I said, of the rainbow. So once I've done that rainbow, I go ahead and turn my book so that it's actually the rainbow is sideways. Now, one thing you might have noticed is that as I was putting the rainbow on, I would take the paint that was left over on my brush and I would just put it down, smush it down on the paper next to it. And that was something I did out of necessity because I didn't want to waste that paint. And so as I started to do it, it just made more sense because it worked as a background for that blank page. So once I got the rainbow on, I kind of decided, maybe I should maybe talk about what this week was about. So I had a picture. I had just a few pages on my desk. One of them was a couple of them were some book pages. And there was one of 2 kids with a umbrella, or 3 kids with an umbrella, and it reminded me of this week. I had to go to back to school night, and as we were leaving, it was raining, and so my friend and I had my umbrella. And anyway, it was kind of funny because we brought the umbrella because we thought for sure if we brought the umbrella, it would not rain. But if we didn't bring the umbrella, it would rain. As it rained with the umbrella. So I put that little illustration from that book down, just glued it down. And then I started to think about, maybe this whole spread could just be about the things that happened this week. This seems like a really, really, really long week. I think at one point time actually started ticking backwards. And there was so much stuff that happened this week. And I swear to you, today is Saturday, and it feels like Monday was 3 years ago. So then I got the idea, well, maybe I'll just start journaling about what happened this week, because there was just so much stuff that happened. But again, I want to go with that illustrator style. So I'm going to use, this is some Speedball ink, and it's real liquidy. It's not thick. And I used it a long time ago in some journal spreads, and then just kind of played around with it, and then kind of put it away and just haven't ever used it since then. But I really kind of wanted that stark black, and I wanted it to be real fluid. So I pulled it out, and I'm using it to draw my outline around my rainbow. And as I do that, I feel confident enough with my skills that I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and write some words with my paintbrush and my Speedball ink, which is kind of scary because this is like a very permanent ink, and it's hard to undo it. So if I make a mistake or I mess it up, I'm kind of stuck with it, and I'm going to have to figure out what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and try it because I think I'm just feeling like, let's just go for it. Let's just see what happens. So I put some on my brush. I use a really long bristled brush, but a very narrow brush. And I try to, when I write, just let the tip of the brush be the guide. Like it is going to make my letters, not my arm, not my hand, the tip of the brush. So I actually was pretty satisfied and pretty impressed with the way that I did it. And so I thought I would just put the words "this week ... underneath that rainbow, and then that way I can go and write around the pages and tell about, what happened and stuff this week. So some of that paint that I was using, the peach colored and the pink colored, didn't show up as bright as I was hoping. So I'm just going to go back in and carefully add some more paint in between my black lines there. What you're not seeing is that this video actually, it ran for about 2 hours. I just had my camera running for about 2 hours, and I got it down, once I edited it, I got it down to about 25 minutes. And the reason why it was so long was, well, one, I hadn't been creative this entire week. So I just did a lot of fumbling. But the other reason was I used my heat gun a lot in between all of these layers because I was just trying to make sure that everything was dry. That is one of the downfalls of working with paint and ink, is that you want them to dry. If not, your colors will get muddied. And sometimes I want to blend my colors, but today I was looking for that hard line in between my different colors, and so therefore I did not want them to mix. So what you're not seeing is me using my heat gun quite a bit today. It actually got a workout. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on getting the stuff written down that I actually did this week. So I have those little book pages, and I always like to use words from the book pages because sometimes words are hard for me to come up with. So if I can find words that are already in a text, I don't know, it's just something cool because I'm taking something and I'm giving it new meaning. So there's a lot of words that I like in this text that I'm going to go ahead and use. This first one it's kind of funny, but it was, and I don't know exactly what it says because it's not right in front of me, but it was something about children thinking that this teacher or this lady was kind of grumpy. And then the second line that I glued underneath there was, but their mother said she was very kind. And so I just I put that up there because with school starting this week, it's your first chance to get to know your new kiddos. And I always, I have to be stern, I have to be strict, I have to set boundaries, but I always love having fun with my kids. And so there's just this delicate balance between that. And so with back to school night and talking with parents and stuff, I had achieved that balance, and so my kids did not walk away thinking that I was grumpy. So that's always nice. That's always nice to know that. Then I'm just cutting out that little illustration from the book because that was kind of cool. And this is funny. I noticed I did this like twice. I'll cut something out to glue it, and then I'll place it where I think I'm going to glue it. I'll pick it up, put the glue on it, and I put it in a totally different place. So I did that like 2 times during this video, and it's always funny because the place I end up and stick it is the place where I feel like it looks the best. So now I'm just taking a China marker and I'm just going to do my writing. Nothing fancy. I'm not feeling like using alphabet stickers or anything. Now, I am a teacher, but the first thing I did was spell the word school incorrectly. So I got a mistake. I got to try to fix it because it's a China marker. It's not going to come off. So I was rummaging through my desk drawer and I found this little label to some sheets, and I just thought I'd glue it down because I liked the shape. Ironically, as I'm gluing that down, I'm like, oh, you know what? That's perfect because my washing machine died this week and we had so much laundry, so much sheets and bedding and stuff that needed to be washed. So I thought, well, I might as well just write that on that little sheet label because it seems fitting. And so then I go down below here, and that's where I write that school has started, just using some messy, sloppy handwriting here, not really worrying about whether or not the words are standing out, because I'm actually going to go back and highlight some of the letters on the words a little bit later to kind of make them pop. So also this week, because I don't know, this is always my luck, but when it rains, it pours. And also this week, we found out some really sad news about our cat that we have had for 19 years. He is actually, we've had him longer than we've had my youngest son. So Friendly is his name, and he's got kidney disease. So it's not going to be much longer. Because we don't want him to be uncomfortable and things like that. So we had to take him to the vet, and it was very traumatic for him, and he's home now, and we're just going to kind of keep him comfortable and happy for as long as we can. But I wanted to document that because that happened at the beginning of this week, and it was a very sad time for my adult children, and also for my husband. For me, I'm not a cat person, but 19 years of having a cat, you become, we've become very good friends. Let's just say that. So, and I hate that my kids are upset. So anyway, I found some paper and some book pages that had cats on it, but I remembered that I had some pages from my daughter's old high school journal, her art journal. And I knew that there was a drawing that she had done of Friendly back when I think she was a junior in high school. So I actually stopped the camera and had to go find this picture, but I finally found it, and it was perfect. It's excellent, and I've been wanting to use it, and I just never knew how to use it, and I thought this is going to be the perfect place. So I ripped out the illustration, I put that on the paper, and then there was a little text that she had written next to it. It was just like little observations. This was an assignment she had to do for an art class. So I went ahead and I'm gluing the observations part on, and I couldn't really find a good place for it and just ended up and decided to put it on the left-hand side here. So that kind of set the tone for this page because I thought I'd make this all about Friendly. And then I had an old Childcraft book page of the 3 little kittens who lost their mittens. So I took that, and the bulk of the page went on the back side, and you saw me glue that down here just a little bit ago. And then the top of the page I actually put right underneath Friendly's illustration. So this is looking kind of hodgepodgey, and I want this to kind of all blend together. So I'm just going to take some of that leftover paint that I have on that tray and kind of smush it around and get these different elements to kind of meld together. And I'm okay if it's covering up the words because it's a pretty translucent paint. So if I wanted to, I could read the words that my daughter had written. And now I'm going to go back to the book pages and see if I can find any words that describe Friendly. I found was very small, and I pieced together some words to make the phrase was very old. And then I think there was one more that I put on there. I think it was when the day came. So I put those 3 little lines of text right underneath his picture. And I'm just using glue here. I have my tape runner. I'm using that a little bit, but I don't know. It just seems like glue, because this is a wet spread, like I'm using paint and ink and stuff. It just seems like the liquid glue is the way to go with this. So trying to come up with the right words to put here next to Friendly's drawing. We've known that Friendly has had failing health for a while. He's just a super, super small cat, and he's just been super skinny here lately. So, I mean, we've known it's been coming, but just kind of taking him to the vet and getting that diagnosis, it just kind of made it like, okay, now we're starting the end. So I ended up and I just put something about the end is becoming near or something like that. So moving on, I started to think about my poor little doggy. So my dog is 9 years old, and he is a big baby. And when we go back to school, he goes into almost like a depression. It really, really bothers him because we're not here during the day to lay on the couch with him and watch TV and pretty much just watch him sleep. So I found a image of a basset hound because that's what kind of dog he is. And so I put that down, and then I just wrote down a couple of things like Grover is lonely. Also, our garbage disposal decided to explode this week. And so in addition to getting a new washing machine, we also had to get a new garbage disposal. So it was just an ongoing collage of nice little tragedies and stuff in my life this week. So, but it's okay, and the world is fine, and I'm a very lucky person to have everything that I do. So these little bumps along the road, they're not that big of a deal. We're able to overcome them. But as I got working through this, and I started to think about, gosh, everything I've written seems to kind of almost be negative, except for the rain. The rain was really good. I thought, you know what? How ironic and how cool that I started off drawing a rainbow with all these happy, bright, positive colors, and because that's what was in my head. But then I also had to tell the story of what happened this week, and that just happened to have, be negative stuff. And I kind of like how I put those together because in the end, even though all of that stupid negative stuff happened, I was able to still be positive about it. And the fact that I started off drawing a rainbow kind of shows that, you know what, I made it to Saturday and I am still thinking about rainbows and pretty ponies, and things like that. So that's actually kind of good, and that makes me feel really good because I work really hard on trying to stay positive, especially when life gets stressful. So what I'm doing now is just taking some of that leftover paint, and I'm just going in the letters that I wrote, and just adding a little paint, some little accents, and it just kind of helps to make those words stand out a little bit. And then I decide that this page that has friendly on it needs to be cohesive. So I'm going to use some of the leftover paint and just kind of add a wash of paint all around and not put anything on Friendly's, my daughter's drawing of Friendly, so that it's kind of like I'm just painting the background. And once I do that, I really like the effect. I like the results that I'm getting because it kind of makes the whole page go together, and it really makes Friendly's picture stand out. And then I decide that I want to add a little bit of, I don't know, I guess some details to the drawing of my daughters. And so I mixed a little bit of the paint that I had left over and kind of colored in his eyes, because he's got these hazel green eyes. And so I put some paint in his eyes that kind of matched. And then he's got a pink little nose. And so I added a little bit of paint to his nose, and then just kind of smushed some more background paint around the rest of the page. And here I'm just going into that illustration of the umbrella, and I mixed some purple paint with some white and just kind of went in, colored in that little umbrella there. I'm going to leave the people in the illustration black and white, and then I'm going to go and just add some more of that purple paint up there on the little observations that my daughter had written. And I kind of like how, again, it's translucent. I can still see the words underneath. Okay, so I got a little ahead of myself here because I realized I hadn't actually painted in his eyes. So here we go. There's where I'm adding the details to his face. And so now I'm good with this. I'm about done with my paint. I'm going to add some stickers next. And going back to school, painting with these bright colors, painting a rainbow, it's got me in the mood of thinking about stickers. I love stickers. I loved stickers when I was a little kid. I loved stickers when I was an elementary teacher. I even loved stickers when, up until the last couple of years. I would even still give my kids stickers, and they would still ask for stickers. So anyway, I want to put some stickers on here. So just kind of looking through my sticker stash. Most of these are old stickers, so I'll have to add some extra little adhesive to them. I put one down next to the school where it says school starts. I think it said have a happy day. I found a picture or a sticker of an apple. I put that on there. I found some stickers that came from some Valentines, and it just happens to be a gray cat and a basset hound, which looks like my pets. So I stuck those stickers on. And then I found my favorite sticker, a scratch and sniff, and it was a banana scratch and sniff sticker. So I stick this over on the left-hand side. And the reason why this one caught my eye is because I think it says something like hi cupcake. And this week, I've been calling my kids at school cupcakes. So I thought that was kind of funny because I don't know, I just always call them, like, they have pet names, like they're babies or baby fish sticks or cupcakes or kiddos. And this week, I don't know why, I've just been calling them cupcakes. So I thought that was kind of funny because that sticker said hi cupcake. So I put that on and just kind of add a few more stickers, a few more details, taking my pen or my China marker and just kind of going over the stickers, making them have a little bit of an outline. I also decided that I am going to make some chocolate chip cookies. I deserve a batch of chocolate chip cookies, and my son has been asking me for some, and I just was too tired this week. So I decided that this week needs some cookies, and it just so happened that these chocolate chip cookie stickers were scratch and sniff stickers, so that was like a bonus. So I stuck that on, and actually as soon as I get done filming this video, I'm going up and I'm making my chocolate chip cookies. And who knows, they may be gone by this evening. I don't know. I need them. I need them bad. Okay, so I think I'm about done here. I don't have too much more left to do, just a couple of little things like adding the date. I just put the date for this week. And then I think right under where it says this week, I added the words "is finally over" because man, this was a long week. And so that was the last thing I wanted to add. And then I cleaned my desk off just a little bit so I can get a look at it. It's pretty busy. It's got a lot of color. It's got a lot of stuff going on. But again, you shouldn't expect anything differently from me because, that's how I roll. So I love it. And I feel really good about getting all that stuff out. I feel really good about the colors and the positivity and all that fun illustration things that I did. I love adding the stickers. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. And I'm so glad I got to do this morning. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great week. I hope you had a great week. And thank you for all the well wishes that you have given me about starting back to school. It is going to be an awesome year. I have the sweetest kiddos and I work with the best adults around. So my life is good. So thank you guys. Have a great rest of the day. I will see you soon. Bye.